Hello students, in the previous class we have seen the factors affecting the solvent extraction. So today we are going to discuss the last factor in solvent extraction. Okay, so generally before going to this topic, I want to say one example here. So what is that example is nothing but, generally here this is a hill stone which is a big size. So this is a hill stone. Okay, so a person is holding this hill stone, right? So is one person can hold this hill stone? Is he having that much energy to hold the hill stone? No. So then another person will come. So here some 2 or 3 persons came for holding the hill stone, right? So with one person it is not possible to hold the hill stone. So it requires 2 to 3 persons or 2 to more than 2 persons it required to hold this hill stone, right? So means these 3 are working together to hold this hill stone. Means what? With one person it will not get one energy, but after combination of these 3 persons energy only we can easily catch this hill stone. I think you have understood my example. Means what? These 3 persons are working together to increase this substance. So that is only we are going to speak in this synergism. Okay, so the synergism is nothing but working together. Okay, so this, what is the synergism we can say here? Working together. Working together, we call it as syn. Then what is synergism? This is a process. Okay, the syn is nothing but we can say working together. So this is a process which increases the substance by 2 or more efficiency in its effect. We call it as what here? We call it as synergism. I think you have cleared about this. Means by working together only it will increase the substance, then only we can get the synergism effect. Okay, so this is nothing but synergism. So then how it is going to use? So what is the importance of synergism in solvent extraction? So generally we are saying solvent extraction. We are using different types of solvent extraction to get the separate layers in solvent extraction, right? So if I take a separating funnel here, so this is the separating funnel with a valve we are having. So this is also a separating funnel. So it is forming as a 2 layers. One is aqueous layer, another one is organic layer. So let us take, this is a organic layer which is known as organic phase, and this one we call it as aqueous phase. Okay, so this is denoted by Kd, which is having C1 by C2, which is organic and which is aqueous phase. So coming to here, if you add solvent to this, so when you add solvent to this molecule, so it will flow in aqueous phase and also in organic phase. But coming to here, the water quantity is more. Because of this, what happens? This solvent will move to the organic phase. See here what I am saying, clearly understand. See, whatever solvent I am adding, it will in the organic and also in the aqueous. So these molecules, whatever in the aqueous phase, due to hydrophobation, means hydrophobic we are having. So due to hydrophobic nature is nothing but what here, water hating compound. So water hating means the water already there is aqueous phase, the water it is the molecules which will push the solvent molecules towards organic phase, then the organic phase will increases here. Okay, that is only we are going to speak here. So this is the thing will happen in the synergism. So now let us see, in olden years means in earlier days, in 1916s, what happens means how the synergism solvent extraction is worked means here for example the carboxylic acids, or pyridine carboxylate. Okay, so this is the synergic effect which is used for the separation of nickel and calcium. Okay, so this is the thing, it is used for to separate. So organic phase means the organic phase is nothing but here, let us take aqueous phase, two mixtures we are taking here, nickel and calcium, and here carboxylic acids. So if you add pyridine carboxylate, what happens, it will separate nickel and calcium. So this is the extraction process we are going to use. So not only that, to separate cobalt from manganese and magnesium calcium, so we are using the solvent means the synergic reagent. So these are the reagents of the synergics. Okay, so these are working together here, means what here, this carboxylic acids or alpha hydroxy oxime. So this is the synergic reagent which is used for separation of cobalt from manganese, magnesium and calcium. So from cobalt what happens, these three are the metals. So these three metals are separated by using the reagent carboxylic acid and alpha hydroxyl amine. Okay, and one more thing also we can take, that is carboxylic acids or alpha hydroxy oxime or organophosphate. So here we are taking three reagents. So starting to we have taken only two reagents for this separation, but what happens here, we are taking three reagents here also to separate for the separation of nickel and cobalt from manganese, magnesium and calcium. So these are the synergic reagents to subtract the nickel metals, mainly to subtract metals we have taken in the earlier days in 1960. So in future it is very advantageous, and the technology is also improving. So we are using different types of conditions. By using different type of conditions, what happens here, we can easily separate and we can easily increase the organic phase. So let us take one example. So let us discuss one example how by using synergic extraction we are going to separate. Okay, so here we are separating. So let us see here the separation of nickel and copper by solvent extraction using di2-ethyl hexyl phosphoric acid. Which is represented as D2EHPA. Okay. H as a synergetic effect. So this is the mixture we are using as a synergistic effect. Okay. So coming to here, so what will happen in this means, so first what you have to do means, so the metals we have taken Ni plus and Cu2 plus. So first what we have to do, the equal mixture. So this is the mixture. So here I am taking Ni plus 2 and Cu plus 2. So these two I am taking. Okay. So which is an equal mixture. So this two is an equimolar mixture. So we have to determine here some optimum conditions to separate each other. Okay. So we have to separate these two molecules from separating funnel by adding D2EHPA. We are going to add the solution which is an equimolar mixture. See here, it is undergoing association, we can say. So here at downward direction we are having Cu plus 2. At upward direction we are having Ni plus 2 molecule. Okay, so we have to separate. So which is an equal mixture with what here? This is an equal mixture with D2EHPA, which is a di2-ethyl hexyl phosphoric acid. Okay, so this is the mixture we are using to separate the nickel and copper here. Okay, so then what happens, what are the results we are, means here we have to determine what, here we have to determine here optimum conditions. So what are the optimum conditions? pH values, pressure, temperature, and the catalyst what we are getting, the one we are going to determine that conditions. That one we call it as what here? Optimum conditions. Okay, so what are the results we are getting? So for extraction of copper and nickel, so copper we got here 93% result and nickel we got here 83% result after extraction. So by using, when you add this compound, then what will be the pH value for this? The pH value for this is 5.71 and here the pH value for this is 4.8. So after adding di2-ethyl hexyl phosphoric acid, we got this pH values. Okay, so then this is the result we have got. So same thing happens with here tributyl phosphate. TBP. So instead of this one, we are adding tributyl phosphate for nickel and copper also. So when you add here organophosphorus extractants, means what? We are adding two, means these two are working together here. We are adding di2-ethyl hexyl phosphoric acid and also tributyl phosphate, means what? These two are working here and here to give the extraction of copper and nickel. So then what happens? This is which is in the ratio TBP is to D2EH PA. Okay, so means what? It is almost these two are giving the synergic effect here is 0.76. Okay, so by this what we can say, the copper is decreasing with the increasing of the aqueous solution, we can say. So what we can say, by by mixing of these two, whenever these two are working, by seeing these two, the synergic effect has given the result of this. So after seeing this, what happens at finally the extraction efficiency, means the copper 2 decreases with increase of the salt concentration in aqueous phase. So this is nothing but synergic effect. So not only this, we can see also extraction of coals with steam. So this is one of the application example we have seen, and also we can do extraction of coals with CS2 also. So the coals, okay. So here we are going to use that one is what here the coal at room temperature we can do here. So means what, N-methyl 2-pyrrolidine with solvent, and also 30 to 60% it is going to give. Okay, so different types of coals we are getting. So by quinoline, pyridine, THF, so some of these solvents we can use here. Okay, so this is the extraction of coals with CS2. So this is nothing but synergism we have discussed. So let us see the applications of solvent extraction. Application of solvent extraction. So application of solvent extraction here, what is the application is nothing but we are going to determining in the iron 3 by solvent extraction method. So this is the practical. So how the iron 3 means Fe plus 3 is determined by solvent extraction, we are going to see. Okay, so first let us see theory. Theory is nothing but here we are speaking about the principle, what happens in this one. So here Fe plus 3 is extracted from aqueous solution, means the metal, whatever the metal is there, the metal is extracted from aqueous solution with 1% solution from 8-hydroxy quinoline. Okay, so which is nothing but oxime, so which is dissolved in chloroform. By double extraction of pH solution. Okay, so the pH is between here 2 to 10 we are having. So here generally if it is having at a pH of 2 to 2.5, nickel, cobalt, cerium and aluminium here do not interfere. Okay, so here what happens, so see here Fe plus 3 we are taking, this one should be extracted from aqueous solution, from water it should be extracted. So at which solution it is going to extract? From an organic compound, that is 8-hydroxyquinoline, so which is dissolved in a chloroform. The solvent we are have added here chloroform. So the pH should be maintained at what here 2 to 10, but at a pH of 2 to 2.5, at the value whenever the 2 to 2.5 we are getting, the nickel, cobalt, cerium, aluminium here does not going to interfere here. Okay, So now what is the procedure to do this? So the procedure to do this is, so see here, first of all we have to weigh, we have to do weight of, we have to take weight of 0.023 grams of hydrated ammonium iron 3 sulfate, means which is a more salt we can say here. Okay, so we have to take 0.023. So this 0.023 is dissolved in, so this one is dissolved in what here? So this one is dissolved in 1000 ml water. First we have to take 0.023 grams hydrated ammonium, ferrous ammonium sulfate, so which is a dissolved in 1000 ml water. Then from these two solutions we have to take what here? 50 ml of the iron we have to take. Okay, 50 ml of the iron solution we are going to take here. So now this solution, from this solution what we have to take, this solution should be kept in a 100 ml separating funnel. To this we have to add 100 ml of 1% 1% oxide solution. So 1% oxide solution is what here? 8-hydroxyquinoline is a oxide solution. This one should be added. After that, which is dissolved in chloroform. So for this also we have to add chloroform and we have to shake for 1 minute. So means what happened? In the separating funnel, 100 ml separating funnel. So this is the separating funnel with a walls. So what I have taken? 50 ml of iron solution I have taken. So which is a aqueous phase. This is the iron solution I have taken. And at upper layer what it contains? 1% oxide solution. So to this what happens? A chloroform is added. That is CHCl3 is added, which is in equilibrium. Then it is forming as a 2 layers. So you have to shake it. After that it will form a 2 layers. Okay, so then what you have to do, you have the chloroform, whatever it is there, it is present in organic layer and also aqueous layer. So you will be separating the chloroform layer. So next what you have to do, chloroform layer is separated here from the, by using separating funnel. So after separating here, this layer should be kept in the absorption cell, which is a spectrophotometer. Okay, so which will give the reading wavelength of that. Okay, 1.0 centimeter absorption cell we have to keep. So it is giving a 470 nanometer wavelength it is going to give. So like this we have to repeat the process with 1% oxide solution to measure the absorbance here. Okay, when you go on repeating this experiment, then what happens? The 50 ml of iron solution in presence of aluminum and nickel will be used at pH value. Okay, so when you goes on repeating this experiment, what happens here? The iron solution in the presence of aluminum and nickel at pH, we are going to measure the absorbance. By this we can easily separate. So then what are the result we are going to get here? So the final result we are going to get here is the first one, absorbance after first extraction. When you do first extraction, absorbance, when you find this one, we are going to get 0.605 is the reading. Okay, so the second one, so what is the second result we are going to get? Absorbance after second extraction is equals to 0.004 value we have got. Means what here? This indicates what? The iron whatever extracting in the first extraction is negligible amount which is present in the second extraction. Means the already half of the amount of the iron is extracted in the first one. So the remaining half is going to extract in the second one. That's why we have got the value of 0.004. So what is absorbance? In the first, if you have been seen in the B. Lambert's law, so there will be having transmittance, spectrophotometer. Okay, so in that absorbance and transmittance we are going to measure. Absorbance is indicated by A and transmittance is indicated by T, right? And coming to third one, so these two without the presence of aluminum and phosphorus. Absorbance in the presence of aluminum and nickel, you are going to get the value here 0.602. Okay, so this is the value we have got when you are using a metals like aluminum and nickel. So what it indicates? Almost all iron is extracted from this without having any interference by aluminum and nickel ion, we can say. See here, in the first extraction half of the iron is extracted. Coming to in second extraction, the complete iron is extracted by adding aluminum and nickel. So when you adding before aluminum and nickel only, the iron is extracted. So these are the results of the iron by solvent using extraction method. Okay, so this is the determination of iron. So by using spectrophotometer only we can do this experiment. So this is nothing but application of solvent extraction. Not only this, we can use hemoglobin by blood by using solvent extractions, and by using some of the organic compounds also we can use the solvent extraction methods. Okay, so this is the application of solvent extraction. This is the last factor we have been discussed, that is synergism in the solvent extraction, how it is going to use. In the next class we can see the ion exchange designs. Thank you.